on right now. Oh shit. Doesn't matter. You guys, you're in store for a tremendous panel. There's some amazing people on here. We're going to talk. There's some new information that we're going to give you. So if you were waiting all day, it is well. And already, a huge hand for Dan Stark. I'm introducing the cast one at a time. Let's go. And Dean Pelton, Jim Rash. And Shirley Yvette Brown. And yet Nelson Bree. Senior Jang, Pin Job. Guys like you and ladies like you that Community is around, and not only just around, but in Hall H, which is epic. Dan, so how's the experience been for you lately? You're back. Dan is back. What does that mean for the show?
New levels of anxiety that will trickle into the content, I'm sure. I'm always really bad at hiding my feelings, and I feel a tremendous amount of pressure, which hopefully will turn into the energy into the show. Like nobody wants to not fail more than me at this point, because it's kind of a weird story. Going away and coming back, so I really, really have to make these 13 count. I don't consider them the last 13. I'm going to do everything I can to get us that sixth season, but I do consider them the most important 13 of the history of the show. So I feel good.
So you really sort of feel like you're working for these five. You're not. It's not. Were you thinking about what the next season would be when you were not working on the show?
No. I mean, when we were doing season 3, I had plans for season 4. You know, get the audience used to maybe not having to be in school all the time. All kinds of plans that now, I think in a good way, a healthy way, are all absolutely out the window. Like all of those plans. This is a whole new thing. We have to reground, reestablish his characters, and like get back to the emotional basics, and then have the most fun we've ever had. So.
Is there anything you can share about season 5 yet?
We're gonna do an animated episode. I told that to Michael. The reason I can scoop that is because we have to know that we're going to do that well in advance. But I definitely don't want to plan like too hard. I thought if I made mistakes in season 3, if we made mistakes, if these guys made mistakes.
Get started.
If I made mistakes in season 3, it had a lot to do with planning, over planning, trying, thinking about the finale during the shooting of the first episode in terms of characters. So we want to get back to that season 1, season 2 feel of being very organic. And just knocking each episode out of the park. I can't remember what your question was.
Gillian, good answer. Gillian, for you, this whole, the show, the fans keep pulling it back. Do you ever sort of feel secure with the show? You're always like, oh, we're good. Oh, good, we're coming back. Oh, is it good? Oh, good, we're coming back.
I've never felt secure for one single second on this show, but I never had steady employment for this show. So this is all I know. This world of constant anxiety and looming cancellation is my new reality. So I look forward to taking this methodology with me in future projects. So, yay!
And if you can survive that, then you literally consider bulletproof now for the rest of the business. Anyone else is like, this job's going to be tough, you're like, I got through 6 seasons of Community, or whatever. Which hopefully you'll get through 6 seasons.
Yeah!
Danny, how has the experience been for you, and what have you learned about Abed in these last, leading up to these 5 seasons? Where are we at with him?
One, that he's not alone. I a treat because to be here, we were talking about how this is our 4th Comic-Con now, and how the journey, the first one just being surprised, and now seeing all these people here and seeing people showing up in Spectre Spacetime outfits, 8-bit t-shirts.
Travis Ritchie shout out.
Yeah, Travis Ritchie, Spectre Spacetime web series. It's wonderful because I get to connect with people all over the place now in the strangest possible ways. So it's pretty cool. I don't feel alone. I'm shocked that we're still here every day, and I think it translates into our episodes because we're truly surprised that we're still doing this and thankful. And it's because of you guys. Thank you.
It's definitely, Community, I've been saying for the longest time, is definitely the nerdiest show on television. No matter what other shows try to tell you it's the nerdiest show on television. Your Dragons episode was freaking amazing. But just beyond that, I think philosophically the show is nerdy because it's the sort of the underdog in this big system that's trying to keep it down and you keep fighting through. Ken, Dr. Ken, who is a licensed physician, who's absolutely true. Are you still licensed in California?
Yeah, I still have my license. It's basically $2,000 every 2 years.
So you can write scripts.
I can write scripts.
You can.
So when people get you to sign something, you have to be very careful about what it is.
Yeah, exactly. These aren't autographs. Yeah.
Thanks for the Adderall, Andy.
Right, yeah.
But what has been your sort of favorite fan interaction so far? I mean, like, people are so excited and ravenous about the show.
I was in Toronto this summer, and it was, I'd never been there before, and the fan base in Toronto was so rabid that I was actually promoting Hangover 3 there in Toronto, but I got way more Chang than I've ever had in my life. More Chang than Chow, and that to me was, everywhere I went, Chang greater than Chow, and I was so happy, hashtag. It was amazing, and just to see the genuine love that came out of it was really overwhelming.
Yeah. For Allison, what have you where Andy's announced at the beginning of the show? Because one of the fun things just watching, even in the same conversation about Breaking Bad earlier, but in a different way, is you start the characters and you think they're one dimension, and then they just slowly start to crack.
Yeah. I love playing Annie, obviously. She's a wonderful character. It's been interesting to watch her evolve into a more mature human being and then devolve into maybe one that's not as mature or intellectual, and maybe and maybe that'll turn back around. This didn't go the way I was planning on going this answer. No. It's interesting working on a television show where, you're getting new information constantly that you've never heard of. So suddenly in the 3rd season of a show, you learn something about your character that you've never been applying in the past. And I feel like that's always an exciting thing looking forward at other episodes. Is like, your character could go anywhere. You could learn something about their past that you haven't known, and then just suddenly that's a whole new universe for them. So I'm just excited to see what Dan's gonna do.
You've been on Talking Dead a couple times, on the podcast. It's one of people's favorite episodes because I'm leading to fan interaction.
Okay.
Because you're one of the most gracious people and sincere people I've ever met. And you brought this sort of positive spirituality thing out of the podcast where we're all kind of cynical jerks. Like, this is really nice.
Soft, gooey center.
We do. So what, for you, what are some fan interactions that you've had, and how, what has that meant to you, just knowing the kind of person that you are?
First of all, I want to say, I do this, guys, because I get so overwhelmed when I look out and see your little faces. So thank you for coming. Thank you for filling Hall H for us. And never a small thing. And I'm not just speaking for community. I'm speaking for probably everyone that's been at Comic-Con. The fact that you guys stand in line, you sleep overnight, and it's not a given that you would do this for any of us, not just community. So we're very grateful. And every time I see someone, it's just so much love. It's just like a wall of love. So I thank you guys. And there's a Lori Taylor somewhere out there. She was my first Shirley cosplay. So, bottle of liquor or whatever that was. We don't talk about the liquor, but thank you, Lori, and your family. That was really cool.
Jim Rash, Academy Award winner Jim Rash. I know he's hearing and talking about it, but that moment in the Oscars, I cried for laughing for like 20 minutes. It was just so simple. So simple. And you said that you recently just found out that it was okay.
People always ask, like, have you heard from her or from Brad, as if they really want to get that bald glasses guy, get revenge on him. That was at the forefront of their to-do list. But no, just actually this weekend, I spoke to a reporter who actually spoke to them soon after that, and I was basically said, "Where have you been the last year?" So I could answer this question. But no, he said that they both found it amusing, and I don't think they take themselves very seriously. So
I don't know. I think anyone who says amusing probably takes themselves very seriously.
Oh, okay. So
that is amusing.
They were lying. Yeah, that's right. They were sipping a fine, Chianti. That's amusing.
But I also want to point out that you had a highlight last season where you got to script a show called Human and Ahem.
Yeah.
I know you've written for television before, but what did it mean, and what were you bringing to the script?
Well, of course it was a huge honor, because this is a show that I've loved, obviously, from the very beginning. It's been a gift of a role. And the challenge with that is, obviously, I just wanted to get anywhere near the neighborhood of Dan Harmon and Chris McKenna and all of our writers, and pay homage to a show that I really feel like the best thing I had was this wonderful map of very distinct voices and characters. And so that's seems like the easy part, but then you're tackling something. So it really was an honor from beginning to end, just to be a part of that.
Yeah, and now that you're coming back, have you started